For the first time, we have 5 generations working alongside each other in the workplace, each one shaped by different experiences, different economies, and unspoken contracts, which we call generational contracts. Join me as we go on a journey to explore each generation, what makes them shine, and where they struggle. Boomers were shaped by the trade era, where your trade or your skill enabled you to provide for your family and community as a whole. Jobs were generational, as children often followed in their families' footsteps as those trades and skills were handed down the family line. They bought into the system of loyalty, where you worked hard for fair pay and the system looked after you until you retired. But many sacrificed their dreams and passions for the stability and the security of raising a family and providing for your family. They are great at carrying traditional, institutional, and cultural knowledge, so they make great mentors in passing that knowledge down. However, they struggle with embracing rapid technology, and they expect the same level of loyalty from the younger generations who were shaped by different experiences. Gen Xers came from the professional era, where your specialized skill made you more valuable and gave you job security. However, they were also the first generation to experience corporate downsizing and retrenchments, which has resulted in them having corporate mistrust. This generation learned to work hard to become self-sufficient. They made financial sacrifices to own homes and to provide an education for their children. But those sacrifices often came at a cost of work-life balance and mental health and well-being. This generation is the bridge between the older generations and the younger generations, because they understand the traditional structures of the older generation and the digital era of the younger generation. So this generation is known as the doers because they've become self-sufficient and they've learned how to get on with it. They've been shaped by the email era, so they are used to direct, outcome-focused communication. They want clear expectations, and then they want you to trust them to get on with the job and do it. This generation does not like being micromanaged. The millennials were shaped by science, technology, English, and math, where getting a degree was expected if you wanted to get ahead in life. They were also the generation that was encouraged to follow their dreams and aspirations, and that work must align with their values and their identity. Because of being shaped by digital communication as part of everyday life, they are digitally confident and they are all about teamwork in the workplace. They've seen older generations sacrifice their dreams, which has resulted in their demand for purpose, growth, and flexibility in the workplace. They can be seen as frustrated and impatient when feedback is delayed because they are used to instant access to instant information, resulting in their demand for purpose, growth, and flexibility in the workplace. They want leadership that is empathetic and collaborative. They want leadership in organizations that are ethical or they will disengage. They are all about purpose. They want to know, where am I going, how am I going to get there, and what do I need to do to improve? Having career growth opportunities is important to them. Gen Zs were shaped by the tech era, but COVID disrupted their education, university, and early career experiences. Because of the exposure to social media, they are used to instant app-based communication, and they are all about collaboration in the workplace. However, they can be seen to be inexperienced and stressed, but that's because they've been exposed to constant change, health and well-being, and economic uncertainty. Due to their digital exposure, this generation is the most in need of human connection in the workplace. Because of their digital fluency, they are very creative and they are very comfortable using technology to solve problems. However, they will push back on leaders and organizations that are not ethical about fairness, workplace well-being, and environmental impact and values. They expect leadership to be supportive and empathetic and give regular feedback. They are all about psychological safety and work-life balance and around authenticity. This generation is also expecting leaders to be authentic when it comes to how they behave. The alphas are being shaped by AI and virtual reality, where visual learning, gamification, and virtual reality is part of everyday life. Therefore, their traditional career paths will not follow those of the generations before them. They'll have multiple careers. They're very entrepreneurial because they've been exposed from a young age into different ways of creating, learning, and earning. Therefore, they're entrepreneurial, but they will struggle with short attention spans, screen dependency, and emotional regulation. They will expect the workplace to be highly interactive and tech-enabled, so leaders are going to have to balance technology with human connection and social and emotional development. This generation is also about values-led leadership in the workplace. So let's stop talking about this as a generational issue. It's not about labels and stereotypes. It's a human issue. Each generation has been shaped by something different. We all have different skill sets that we bring to the table and value to add to create an impact in this world. Thank you.